Oh, Constantiam. A server without rules running on the same map since its inception. Land of the jobless, home of the unemployed. But did you know this supposedly anarchical server has elections? There have been 8 presidents throughout Constantium's electoral history beginning in 2017, with a 9th having been officially elected in December of 2024. However, this year's election was not like those preceding it, sparking a server-wide debate on the legitimacy of certain players and institutions. Constantium's presidents, while certainly existing, don't hold much power. The position is largely symbolic and often goes to players who promote the most server activity. The most recent president of the server, Chaos Blend, as well as his vice president, Geza3D, are known exploiters and won the 2023 election with the promise of making one of their private dupes public. More items in circulation would give players new and old a perfect reason to return to the server, providing Chaos Blend with a sweeping victory. One of this year's candidates went for a very similar strategy. Fornicator is another exploiter, using technical knowledge as well as his ties on the server to build stashes of massive proportion. With the announcement of his campaign, Fornicator guaranteed a mass distribution of duped items, offering many players a few, if not dozens of dubs for their support. In Constantium's 2024 debate, presidential candidate Prompt famously accepted a bribe of 100 double chests of shulkers in exchange for his endorsement, dropping out of the race live on stage in support of Fornicator. It was clear that this player was picking up momentum, running a much more aggressive campaign than most of his competitors. Voting eventually was closed by November the 23rd. After an initial announcement from Sir Leonidas that well-established player Hennycrafter had won the election, a spreadsheet containing voter data was unofficially leaked, detailing which candidate an account voted for as well as that account's eligibility. In this document, it is easy to tell that Fornicator won the most eligible votes, tallying at over 150. Meanwhile, Hennycrafter only won around 70, and was announced as president. What gives? In 2023, Fornicator was banned from Constantium for lagging and finally crashing a temporary map. He was eventually unbanned by the server administrator and has never caused server issues since. While election officials like Sir Leonidas directly gave Fornicator the green light to run, the rule against banned players running arguably should have negated his eligibility from the start. Retroactively, all of Fornicator's votes were thrown out in favor of the unofficial runner-up, Henny. The late announcement of Fornicator's disqualification led many to believe the election was rigged in favor of Hennycrafter, though the electoral officials claimed that was simple oversight. Many Fornicator voters took to Discord, specifically the Constantium trading platform, to express their frustration. Some suggested storming Spawn. Others tried to figure out how to implement a coup on a Minecraft server. Pervasive debates about election integrity, as well as some technical issues with the voting system, inspired Sir Leonidas to host a follow-up election. Since Fornicator wasn't able to run this time around, he endorsed Epicface III, hoping his voter base would support the secondary candidate who could still offer Fornicator some unofficial power. This plot ultimately failed, and Hennycrafter predictably won a sweeping second vote. Though a second official vote tally has not been posted like was done with the first, the broader player base saw this re-election as sufficient enough to put a rest to electoral drama, and Hennycrafter is for the most part recognized as the server's 9th official president. But that's for the most part. Many players have decided to continue their fight against Constantium's career player base. They argue that Deep Constantium, a play on the concept of the deep state, ultimately controls the direction of Constantium's culture, and by extension, who is allowed to gain prominence. As such, players like Fornicator's proposed vice president, Cravon, as well as presidential candidate Epicface III, are potentially looking to hold an unsanctioned election alongside Constantium's next presidential election. This raises some important questions. Is longevity what gives an establishment their credibility? What makes one elector more prone to manipulation than another? And most importantly, what does this messy election mean for the future of Constantium's presidency? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain. This semi-vanilla Minecraft server is truly anarchy. Considering Fornicator's previous ban and now indefinite departure from the server, I'd maintain that Henny is Constantiam's true president. But what do you all think? Leave it in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.